So as far as today's practice with injuries, out today we have no changes, so nothing new there. Back in today will be Latavius Simmons from the concussion protocol, and then that's it. No other changes there. Obviously, we're excited to get the Dolphins here, be able to go out there and change the monotony up of camp for both of us, both sides, and I think we put together a nice little schedule to be able to get some situational stuff, and I know they're ready to go, we're ready to go. Make it competitive, not combative, be able to go out there and get some different looks. So I think that'll be really good. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up.
Now, when you guys, when you drafted Justin, did you analyze whether it was you or somebody in the building, kind of the way quarterbacks have been handled in recent history in the NFL? And if so, did you look at Tua and the Dolphins last year in terms of, you know, their plan or how they handled certain things?
We've looked at scenarios. I didn't specifically look at that one. You know, it's one of the ones that's funny that you bring that question up is when Doug was here the other day, we were talking, and if you guys go back to '99, Coach Reed was hired, and he brought in Doug Peterson, and you guys remember who he drafted in Donovan. So, you know, I think that being able to there's a bunch of different experiences for these quarterbacks, a lot of different levels of where they're at, when they're ready, when they're not ready, where's the team at, and so we try to use them all and understand, are there great examples of quarterbacks sitting for a few years and learning and becoming Hall of Fame quarterbacks? Absolutely. Are there similar examples of guys coming in and playing from the very first snap and being great quarterbacks? For sure. So we just kind of want to make it ours on what we think is right for Justin and our team in the long run. So that's the evaluation part. And I think history gives you examples of situations that can help you get through some of those times, you know, day by day.
Matt, are you guys at the point where you worked on scramble drills with Justin, with him and with receivers and buying time in those types of cases?
Yeah, all the time. We try to tell them really where you see more of that, Mark, is 7-on-7 right now. You see a lot of that in 7-on. They get covered up, and instead of just throwing the ball away, let's finish the play. So they know that the scramble drill is always alive. They can always get to that, and you know, you want to prepare them. So we had one yesterday, for instance, in 10-10-10, and Hardy, our wide receiver, was there with Justin, and Justin scrambled, and he stopped. He ran. He was in the end zone, and he ran his route by the corner of the sideline, and all of a sudden he pulled up and stopped, and I went over to get on him, and he had a smart comment. He stepped out of bounds. So that's why he stopped. He didn't want to be the illegal touch. So just little situations like that, they're learning, and we talk through, but we're always teaching them scrambles.
Matt, I know you don't see Miami hardly ever. I mean, did you actually watch film on some of their guys to get ready for this?
For coming up here?
Yeah.
So.
And if you did you have any thoughts on Xavier Howard?
Yeah, well, I would say what we start to do is you get into a little, like, you don't necessarily scheme per se for these preseason games. Some teams do, some don't do it at all. They don't care. But we watch tape just to get a flavor of, you know, the fronts. Are they a 3-4? Are they a 4-3? You know, just so happens that this team that's in here today, you're probably going to see maybe a little bit of some blitzing going on. They're a top 5 blitz team, cover 0. So that'll be great work for us. And so now's the time to prepare for that stuff. So whether or not they do that in preseason is up to them. But we watch tape on them just to get introduction. We don't spend a lot of time on them. And then specifically with Howard, I just know from kind of knowing football and knowing players around the league, I respect his guy. I think he's a heck of a corner, and just he's very dynamic. He can, you know, obviously playing man. He has great ball skills. Can really do it all. So our Mooney and our wide receivers are going to have a great time at being able to, you know, get challenged.
Man, back to Tua for just a second. I don't know if him and Justin have any relationship or if they'll have any opportunity to even have any sort of personal interaction, but can him being on the practice field and maybe occasionally observing another young quarterback that has kind of, you know, following the same path, could that be beneficial to him?
I think so. And I think probably too, like these guys, when we're all out there on the field together, I'm sure they kind of go over and ask questions and pick each other's brains, and I think that's beneficial. I really do. And again, like, same with Tua. He's gone through an interesting dynamic down there with Fitzy last year, and now, he's the guy. So I'm sure behind the scenes they ask a lot of questions, and now they're out here in person. They can really, get to see each other too. These guys will be all watching each other. That's the other fun part too, is that, especially in the one-on-ones.
Matt, how do you evaluate, especially quarterbacks, these joint practice sessions? Is it worth as much as a game? I mean, how much weight do you put into performances against an unfamiliar opponent, just in different looks?
No, we for sure, we put a lot of stock into it. It's almost like an extension of a little bit of the preseason game. And that's probably why too we like it, with as far as if we can get some starter work in there against each other. You understand the speed of the game picks up a little bit. You see different moves, but in the end, the preseason games are the ones that really help us evaluate. So it'll be, you can already kind of feel it in the building right now with the players. There's a little bit of a pep right now and juice and them walking out there, and that's a good thing.
Matt, with regard to Fields' running ability, how does he compare to Mitch? Because Mitch was very effective in 2018 as a runner, and then seemed to hit the wall for whatever reason. It was hard to tell if it was offense, his decision-making. So how is Fields? Is he equipped to kind of not get into that, or is it just, how does he compare as a runner,
Well,
as a running quarterback?
Yeah, I think we saw in 2018 the type of weapon that Mitchell was with his legs. I mean, a lot of teams, they had to prepare for his legs, and not just zone reads and in the RPO game, but they had to prepare when, like, the ones that kill defense coordinators is third down. And there's coverages that get eliminated with scrambling quarterbacks versus a stiff that can't move. So there's certain coverages that you can't play. With Mitchell, you're able to. You were able to. He used his legs on third down in 18. He did it even last year. So that's a benefit. Justin has the same thing. Not always looking to drop back and just run, and be able to see play quarterback. But then if they give you an opportunity, Flip's talking about all the time, take advantage of it, man. Take off. You got rare speed as a quarterback. There's not a lot of guys that have that speed that can throw like you.
Speaking of Justin running, do you have to talk to him at all about maybe taking it easy at all in the preseason game, where you do sort of a risk versus reward?
So not take it easy, but be smart. Don't that hit he took in Clemson, don't take those hits. Get out of bounds, and that's not just preseason. That's during the season. Whenever you're in, like you have to be smart. It's the same with Andy too. I mean, we told Mitchell that. We had this conversation the other day. Be smart. Don't get down too late. So we don't say we want him to cut it loose, but don't take that extra hit. We'll live to see another down, and we don't need you guys getting speared.
Matt, who on your offense do you feel really needs the reps they're going to get today, tomorrow, Saturday? Maybe a new guy, someone that just has shown it to you or is learning it and now just needs to kind of test it out and prove to themselves that they...
I would start out with the O-line full speed with all the looks we're going to get with the fronts and blitzes and stuff. They need that because we haven't done a whole lot of that right now, per se, the O-line right there. Are you saying just offense or both sides?
Offense.
Offense. Wide receiver wise, I feel pretty good. I don't really know if there's any. I mean, probably when you look at it, like Andy getting the timing down against these guys with his guys against a different team, but I feel like our guys right now, they're playing fast, they're playing confident. It's not something where like in year one where they were thinking about the play they're doing. They kind of know the play. And now they can take it to the next level of what we're seeing post-snap. And that's probably, evaluating all of them as to how they're going. Cole Kmet, I think you're going to see his game step up speed-wise than where he was last year. Last year, probably thinking a little bit, and then when he got a chance to make a play, he did. This year, you're probably going to see a little bit more, hey, I was open, get me the ball, or hey, run to my side, that he didn't have last year.
Your linemen had the padded Guardian caps on yesterday. Can you talk us through the decision process to put those on as
Sure.
a protective measure?
I think that's something that you're starting to see some teams look into, and without getting into major specifics, it's something that we're testing out for a lot of different reasons. And so, Ryan and Tony Medlin and those guys with the equipment, they've done some studies and looked at it and kind of. We just wanted to see and test it out, and the O lineman and D lineman were willing to do it and see. So I guess as the days go by, we'll know more as there's some more thumping. The other one too is, to me, is the benefit of it's padded, so any type of follow-throughs for the quarterback's finger, when they hit that, it's not the helmet, it's the pad. That helps a little bit. So there's a couple different benefits, but, I appreciate those guys trying it out.
Is it fair to assume it's not coincidental that those came on after you had two guys last week wind up in the protocol?
I don't think so. I think these are just starting to get a little bit more common. Now, when that happened, I mean, you think, you might think about it, might be well, yeah, let's do it. We just had two guys. That's not the why we did it.
Yeah, we saw some of Barr's tackle yesterday. Do you see him having that versatility between tackle and guard?
Yeah. Alex Bars, yeah, for sure. I mean, he can play center too, across the board. He can play every position, and he's got a phenomenal attitude. The kid works hard. He doesn't say much. He just comes to work every day like a true pro, and he doesn't care. You saw it last year. He got a chance to go in there. He helped solidify that line, and he's smart. He was coached the right way in college and when he got here, and again, it's just a lot of credit to, again, a guy like Harry Heastan who helped get him here. And Donnie Raiola, and now Juan's here with him, and I love that part of him.
Is he competing for a spot there, right tackle?
I wouldn't say that. No, I'd say he's more of a. But you never know. I hate to I don't want to put a limit on somebody because where they're at. I mean, shoot, if he comes out here and starts playing really well, we all these guys we want them to make it hard on us. But that's not the case right now with him. He knows his role. He's accepted it, and again, he proved to us that he's worth who he is by coming in last year and doing what he did, and now he's competing to be a great player in his team.
Matt, when you promoted Sean, it was pretty obvious that you had a group of happy players that have played for him and had that buy-in. In what ways in the first few weeks of camp here have you seen that buy-in and that familiarity manifest itself?
Where I see it the most, Adam, is probably you see it in practice, but in the walkthroughs. When he's teaching and they're standing there and the how much they're locked in to the details of what he's talking about. When he's teaching these guys, connecting with them, and then being able to take it out to practice. You see the energy. He wants that blue bucket out there all the time to be able to do the dunks and stuff. He's talking takeaways and turnovers. And then I get to see him in the classroom when he's in there explaining to every position the why. And so how he teaches that and gets that point across to what he does in walkthrough to having it come to fruition on the field, I think the guys see that and they love that. And there's a comfort level knowing the scheme as well.
There's an extension of that with the teaching and the connection. And a lot of these guys have likened it to 2018 with Vic and having just full-fledged confidence in what calls come in. When you think back to 2018, what did you appreciate about the way that was all sort of grooved with Vic preparing the guys, them understanding what they were prepared to do, and then on game day, everyone just feeling like they had full control?
Sure. So, Vic being here before that, they had the foundation of that defense. Vic is, in his ways, he's been doing that thing for a long time at defensive coordinator, so they knew that as well. And now, I think in 18, there was just that vibe, that energy that we felt. The players played very opportunistic, right? They were very aggressive with how we played. Vic did a great job with that, and the guys know that. Now, at the same point in time, too, I do believe, hey, we get to 2019, 2020, and there wasn't that same, the takeaways weren't there as much, and some of the numbers weren't there, but I still felt like under Coach Pagano, they really played good defense. And was there times last year during the season where we could have played better? For sure, but that's a part of life in the NFL. Sometimes there's changes, and you got to adapt. And I think the biggest thing that you all saw from the start when you were interviewing the players early on this training camp is forget 18, forget 19, and forget 20. It's on us right now as coaches and players to focus on Sean's defense this year, right? And the players, no matter how they played or didn't play, they're going to put the onus on them, and the coaches are going to put the onus on themselves. And so that's the excitement for me, is being able to see, like, today's day one against a different team, and then we get to the preseason, that's one step, and then Sunday night against LA will be the next, and then the growth throughout the year. But again, all I can speak to is the volume and positivity that everybody has, and Sean's done a great job.
That energy's real, right? I mean,
it's authentic. It's very authentic. The energy's real, the trust is real, and the calmness is real. from all of us. And I've been as calm as I've ever been in my life. I'm just telling you, it's a good feeling, and I appreciate these players, I appreciate these coaches, and I'm trying to, like, I tell our guys, don't peak too soon, but we're excited.
Last one. He's played a lot of football, but he never played for you.
Mhm.
Was there a temptation at all to play him a little bit more in preseason games than he will? And what, has he shown you something in camp or in OTAs that made you think like, no, he knows the offense, he's got this, I don't need to see something?
I would say if we felt like he wasn't at the point we wanted to be at, we would play him more in preseason. He's exceeded that. He could play tomorrow in a game, and I would feel great about it. Our players would feel great about it. So that's why he'll probably play less snaps. If we go out there and score a touchdown on the first drive, I can promise you if it's 3 plays, he's out. You know, but if we want to see more and he feels like he needs more too, we'll do that. It'll be a little bit of a chance for us to just talk through it. And then, again, we need to evaluate Justin. So we're going to want to see him do some stuff too. All right?
Thanks, man.
No problem.